Hey guys, and welcome back to my channel. So for today I have the Goodreads tag, and I had seen this floating around on different booktubers channels and it just looked like a bunch of fun, and I decided I was going to be a rebel and do it even though I wasn't tagged, because who says you need to be tagged? So let's get started. Question number 1 is, what was the last book that you marked as read? The last book that I marked as read was actually The Vampire Academy by Rochelle Mead, and I gave that book a 4 out of 5 stars. I really enjoyed it, except for a couple things here and there, so that's why I gave it a 4 out of 5. It was really good, and I thought it just got better as it went along, and I am really excited to read more in the series. I'm actually planning on doing a full review on that later on, so keep your eyes open for that in about a week or so. Question number 2 is, what are you currently reading? I actually am reading 2 books currently, the first being Cinder, and I cannot begin to explain how much I love this book. It is easily going to be one of my favorites of all time. The story, the characters, the setting, everything about it is absolutely amazing. I love Cinderella. I think this is an amazing adaptation of it because it's the classic Cinderella story, but not, if that makes any sense at all. If you have not picked up a copy of it yet, find a copy some way or another and read it, because you will not be disappointed. I promise you, it is that good. The second book I'm reading is one that you have probably seen in every single one of my videos, and that is A Game of Thrones, and I don't know why it is taking me so long to get through this book. There's really no excuse. It's not a bad book. I love the book. I love the characters. I love the world. It's just taking me forever to get through it. I don't know why, but it just is. I mean, the fact that I've probably read 3 books back to back now without picking up has something to do with it. But I don't know, it's taking me forever to get through it, as amazing and as much as I love it. Although I am going to read it this month, I am determined I'm going to make that happen. There's still plenty of days in the month left, so I have no worries. It's going to get done. I mean it. I'm telling myself it's going to happen. Question number 4 is, what book do you plan on reading next? The next book I'm planning on reading is a toss-up between 2. It kind of just depends on what I'm in the mood for once I finish Cinder, and that is either Bridal or Harry Potter and the Sorcerer's Stone. And it just kind of depends, because I have been reading a bunch of fantasy, sci-fi, paranormal books recently, and so I don't know if I'm going to want to continue that genre or if I'm going to want to read something more contemporary, because I believe Bridal is a contemporary novel. So it just kind of depends on what I'm in the mood for once I finish Cinder. Question number 5 is, do you use the star rating system? I do use the star rating system. I've rated every single book that I've read. I just have one thing I wish it would do, and I wish Goodreads would implement a half star, because there are so many books that I think I've rated either higher than I would have liked to or lower than I would have liked to, just because that half star wasn't there. It literally, I know it probably doesn't seem much, like it's just half a star, but it really does. It really does make a difference when reading books. So I think if Goodreads were to put that in, it would, for me, be a 10 out of 10. Question number 6 is, are you doing a 2014 reading challenge? I am doing a 2014 reading challenge. Right now I have it set at 30 books. But I am planning on bumping that up if I get close to it. I just didn't want to set it too high and then not reach it at the end of the year and be bummed out about it, because I kind of did that last year. And so I would rather just bump it up if need be, rather than be upset at the end of the year for not reaching my goal. Question number 7 is, do you have a wish list? I do have a wish list, it's just not on Goodreads. I actually had no idea you could have a wish list on Goodreads until now. So I have one on Amazon, and I kind of use my Amazon wishlist more as a secondary TBR, because on Goodreads my TBR is kind of messy. It's full of books that sounded interesting to me, so I just went ahead and added it to my TBR, or I entered to win that book in a giveaway, so it was just added to my TBR. Whereas my Amazon wishlist are all the books that I want to read as soon as possible. So I use my Amazon wishlist if I'm going to the library or I'm going to the bookstore or anything like that, because those are all the books that I want to get my hands on, like right then and there. Question number 8 is, what book do you plan on buying next? And this is sad because I already know what book I'm going to be buying next. And it's not fun. It's going to be textbooks for my summer session at college, and I would love to buy fun books, but my textbooks are going to cost me like $500, so I'm going to be definitely broke once I get those, and yeah, I won't be able to buy myself any fun books. Question number 9 is, do you have any favorite quotes? I do have a couple favorite quotes. I went ahead and narrowed it down to 3 so that way it was easier to share with you. The first one is, be the change that you wish to see in the world by Gandhi. And that is probably my all-time favorite quote. It's one that I live by, and it's just, I feel like it's true that change can start with one person, and I strive personally to be the best person that I can be, and to try to make the world a better place in any way that I can, even if it's by a small gesture. That one is definitely my all-time favorite quote, and one that will probably continue to be my favorite quote for years and years and years to come. The second quote is a long one, so I'm going to go ahead and read it so that way I do not butcher it. And that is, laughter is wine for the soul. Laughter soft or loud and deep, tinged through with seriousness. The hilarious declaration made by man that life is worth living, by Sean O'Casey. And I actually found this quote on Goodreads. I think it was a quote of the day not too long ago, and it instantly became one of my favorites. It's just so beautifully put together that it's just hands down became one of my favorites. The third quote is, a reader lives 1,000 lives before he dies. A man who never reads lives only one. And that is by Mr. George R.R. Martin. That quote just kind of spoke volumes to me. I am someone who loves to read and someone who doesn't understand when someone says they hate to read. So I feel as a reader, you cannot not like this quote. So those are 3 quotes that are definitely up there on favorites for me. Question number 10 is, who are your favorite authors? So this list is probably going to change over the years as I read more books that I haven't read before. But as of right now, that list is Sarah Dessen, Meg Cabot, Emily Giffin, Stephen King, L.J. Smith, and Nicholas Sparks. They are just some of the authors that I've read the most books of, and that just, I think I've picked up a book of theirs and I honestly haven't disliked. So, like I said, that will probably change as the years go on, because I am definitely reading a lot more authors now that I have just never read before, and I am quickly developing a love for their writing. Question number 11 is, have you joined any groups? I have joined a couple groups. I believe I belong to 6. None of them I'm extremely active in, except for one. More often than not, I'll see if there's a book that I'm currently reading that they're reading, but I don't necessarily go out of my way to read what they're reading that month. I'm not the biggest fan. So question number 12, and the last question is there any questions that you would like to add? The question that I'm going to go ahead and add is, do you discover most of your books on Goodreads, or you discover them somewhere else? I personally discovered them mostly through BookTube and on hauls and TBRs and wrap-ups and stuff. Some I do discover on Goodreads, but more often than not, it's through BookTube. So that is it. That is the Goodreads tag. I hope you guys enjoyed this. If you did, give it a thumbs up and hit that subscribe button. Question of the day, what is the book that you are currently reading? Let me know down in the comments below, and I will see you soon. Bye!